Okay, I think that this is working. I really hope that it is because I've never done something like this before. But this is my portfolio website, or my business website in general. This is the main homepage, and before I go into the actual website, I figured I should explain what I do. I am an artist, more freelance than professional or anything like that, and I also make costumes, more specifically called fursuits. This website is mostly for my fursuits, but also has examples of my art as well. So let's get into the details. So the home page starts with my header. I have my name, my business name, and my logo up here, all of my different tabs, and as you can see, I've used Wix to make this. I've decided that a website would be best for what I am doing, because it can put all of the things that I need together in the same spot and makes things just a little bit easier. So I have this notice because I have a shop up here, but I don't have any items in it yet because I am just starting out with it, so that's just a notice for anybody who visits to know that my shop is not open yet and is still on default, which I will show you later. I have my commission status, which I put on the homepage because in most cases when somebody is going to visit a website for commissions, the commission status is what they're going to be looking for. So I'm currently closed because I am focusing on school a little bit more, but I plan to open soon, as I have down here. It says that I'm currently working on my queue and plan to open commissions once I finish. I will be taking a limit on the amount of commissions, so make sure to keep an eye on my page for the next opening. This is a little link to my portfolio and a few examples to kind of show off a little bit of what I do. And this does lead to my portfolio, which I can show you here, but I'll be getting back to that. So the shop, I can explain what I'm going to do with it. Obviously, these are just the default things on here, but I have my logo and everything all set up. So I plan to start selling little keychains and pins and just small little trinkets to kind of help assist with some expenses and things. And because I plan on dealing at conventions, which is just selling my products at a booth at a convention, I figure I could have leftovers or any other items that I have that I want to put in my shop so that people can see what I offer, and based on that I can kind of gather what people would want and figure out just overall the interest in everything, and just to sell my leftover products from dealers' dens. So moving on to portfolio, the main part here, I have all of my art first. The page is split up into my fursuits and my art. Obviously, I don't have as many examples of my fursuits because I've only been doing it for about 5 years. But my art examples, I have chosen the examples that are more recently made and examples that I feel are the best in my collection so far. So I have like this little sticker kind of a drawing. This was an experiment with a different shading style, and I thought it turned out really nice. Whoops. Go back to that. Let me find another one. This one was a redraw that I did of an old piece that I was wanting to modernize because I knew a lot more about digital art when I made this one than before when I had originally drawn it, and it has much more detail, and this I'm very proud of because of all of the characters and all the little details and the lighting especially. So I decided to include that one. I have a lot of examples of different body shapes and styles because I wanted to show that I can draw different body shapes. I also have this little pixel art art that I did of Bo Burnham's inside. If you don't know what that is, it's on Netflix. It's an amazing little show. Bo Burnham is a comedian, and this is just a little pixel art kind of thing of his little space for that. And then I also have some animated things, so I think I'll go with this one to show. So this is voiced to, well, synced, I should say, to This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. Now, you can see that the eyes on my little character here are a little weird, and the gradients in the back are a little weird. That's just because of the program. I'm not sure why it saves like that, but I have yet to try to fix it. But I included this because of the amount of detail that it took and time that it took to make her move the way that I wanted. And I'm rather new to animation, so the fact that I was able to pull this off really, I was really proud of that, so I decided to include it in my portfolio, as well as just showing what I can do, especially to if like anyone hiring. And then I think another one I want to show off quickly is this one. I know it's very dark, but I like to work with dark pieces. This is a fan art for a game called Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. It's the newest game in the series. This is Monty, and this is Glamrock Monty, and this is Glamrock Bonnie. There was a whole theory going around in the game community that this character is the reason this character was decommissioned, and so I decided I wanted to draw a little fan art of it. And I included this in my portfolio because I really like the way that the anatomy turned out on the bodies of both of them, and I really like the shading as well and the colors. So that was why I chose this one to do as well. Don't mind that a few pillows just fell off of my bed, if you heard. And then on to my fursuits. So this I included because this was the first fursuit that I ever made. Here's the side view of him. So the body was made off of a pattern that I bought on Etsy. I can't quite pronounce their name, so I don't want to try, but if anybody is interested, I can link that. But this is a style of leg that makes it look like a natural animal leg, and I really wanted that. And I will also just point out that many beginners don't go for a full suit, but I wanted to push myself to try and do something a little different, so I decided to go for a full suit. And the character is supposed to be a Dutch angel dragon, which is an original species from the furry community. You can check those out if you want more information. Now, obviously, you can see he's not quite finished. I made foam paws that I had sculpted. The horn isn't finished, and that was also sculpted, but I included this in my portfolio because it was the first one I ever made, and I wanted to show my progression from the first suit that I ever made to the most recent one. This was my most recent commission. I just sent this out to a very happy customer. This is also for a Dutch Angel Dragon. I included this one because, well, it was my most recent one, and because of the complexity of this tail. You can see the little minky spikes that I've added to the side here. There's a bunch of stripes. All of these stripes had to be sewn separately together. And another detail I'm sure you probably saw was this. This is the end of the tail that would go on the person's back. You would attach it with a belt. They wanted a cartoon kind of look, like it was cut off like a piece of meat, so I sewed that onto it, and I wanted to include that because I've only done one other example of that, and it was very old, so this is a newer, modern version of it. And then I also have my most recent, more finished suit. This is a full partial. This character is my own. I made him, and the paws are made on a pattern by Kloof Suits, I believe is how you pronounce their name. But the rest of this was my own patterning. So the head was carved from foam on my own, and I furred him myself. The tail and the feet were my own pattern as well. So I wanted to include him in my portfolio just to show all of my, I guess what I'm trying to say, show off my abilities is what I was wanting to say. And there's one more that I had wanted to talk about. Blossom. This is one of my full suits, and I included it because I don't have many full suit examples. The only times I've made a fursuit, like a full suit, is off of a pattern that was made by somebody else. So I really don't have much for that yet, but I wanted to show that it's something that I can do. Blossom's paws were not made by me, but they were the inspiration for the character. And the feet were fully my own pattern, as well as the head. And I wanted to, and the bell as well, and the collar. And I wanted to include this to show my ability to make hoofs, and keep, like, the head is another example of another style that I can do in an animal, and then the little bell also for things that I can do, which is props or plushies. So that will wrap up the portfolio part. On to my prices, which are just generic. I've got a couple of my examples. All of them are quote-based, so I start with a base price, and then based on the person's character's colors and complexity, the price may go up, and including like add-ons, as you can see. The head being the most expensive of those because it is the piece that requires the most work. I won't talk too long about prices just because it's just another piece of the website. But you can see my list there, and then I have a section of about me and my characters. So this is mostly for anybody who is seeking me at a convention or just wants to get to know more about the characters that I have and my suits and things. So this is just a little thing about that. And that about wraps up my portfolio. So thank you for listening. And I'm hoping to add more to my portfolio in the future.